Hello again, racing fans. Thanks for joining me on a sure thing powered by Hollywood. Now, with Tuesday's racing at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth abandoned, everyone is chomping at the bit, raring to go and looking for local racing action. Well, that comes up on Wednesday. We're racing in the capital of KZN at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, where we have an 8-race program that gets underway at 12:40. Good to have you along as we preview this meeting. I thought quite a tricky one. So we're certainly going to have to approach it with a bit of caution, play with lots of cover, maybe play a bigger perm with a smaller percentage, and hopefully at the end of the day stand in the queue, because that's what we're all about, winning and finding those winners on the program. Now, the first race gets underway at 12:40, which means 5 minutes prior to that, you need to be on with your Hollywoodbet Punted Challenge entries. Make sure you put your selections through and you play the bet slip, because that will put you in line for that R1 million jackpot prize that is on offer. First race on the program is a maiden plate, a race for fillies and mares, and they'll line up at the 1,000 metre mark. As the blinkers go on, we have a scratching in the opener, and that's number 10, Priory Terrace. So 9 runners will contest the opening event on the card, and here number 1, Call Me Jane, is the favourite at 1.82 to 1 on HollywoodBets.net. Returns from a 14-week break and will be having her debut run in KZN. Number 2, Cartel Queen, from 4 to 1 is coming to 3.57 to 1. She's coming along the right way, and I do think a place chance at best as far as she's concerned. 3, Cherry Lady, is at 5.56 to 1. She's certainly got moderate form, but I do think with the 4-kilo claiming apprentice on board, she could get closer to the action. But I like number 5, Queen Fen, as my first choice selection. Callan Murray is indeed just riding at the top of his game. Queen Fen, she jumps from the middle of the pack. She's from the stable of Darrell Moore, and if you look at her distance column, you'll see for 4 runs, she's run 2/3 thus far, the last third being last time out when she ran third staying on at Hollywoodbets Greyville. She's got decent recent form. She's having a third run after race, so she should be cherry ripe for the occasion. So I'm going 5, Queen Fen, ahead of number 3, Cherry Lady, 2, Cartel Queen, and 4, Kelly Buana. We move on to the second, which is the opening leg of the place accumulator, and you need to be on at 13:15. Having had a look at this race, and when I took down the anti-post betting, I see I've actually looked at this exactly the same way as the betting suggests, a boat race between number 2, Flying South, and number 1, Peace Rose. Now, Flying South, I see the blinkers have been fitted. From the stable of Glenn Cotson, Chad Little takes the ride. Good form, and does drop in trip over 1,200 metres. But I like the look of number 1, Peace Rose, because I do think the most improvement will come from Peace Rose in this race. 1 run under the belt, that was a promising debut, and would have gained from the experience of that run. And this horse is from my good friend Mr. Howell's yards, and what does he say? Peace Rose, good first run, has improved since, and can give a good account. That's good enough for me. 1, Peace Rose, ahead of 2, Flying South, 9, Winter Blessing, and 4, Gorgeous Cape are the selections in race number 2. Race 3 is the first leg of the pick 6, a Class 3 benchmark 96, small field of just 6 runners, and again, it looks like a boat race between number 5, Uzwano, who has already recorded the hat-trick and is going for 4 on the trot, and number 1, Dust Till Dawn, the horse that I'm siding with from the stable of Justin Snather. This horse, last time out when being released from the gates, got squeezed out, but was running on very, very smartly in the closing stages to finish second, only to be beaten a length and a half by Arosh Kadesh from the stable of Dean Kanemayer. Now jumps from pole position, so we'll have the run of the race and we'll be able to pick exactly where we'd like to come from. But I do think we'll be sort of slotting in, sitting back, and then getting released as they turn for home and picking them off one by one in the closing stages to win going away. I'm going 1, Dust Till Dawn, ahead of 5, Uzwano, 3, Forward Motion, and 4, Bacchus. Fourth race on the card is the maiden plate fillies and mares, where 11 runners will line up at the 1,600 metre mark. And here number 1, Cassandra, is at 1.52 to 1. 8, Quenzi, 3.57. 4.55, number 10, Miss Twinkle, and 5.56 and upwards, the others. You know, this Cassandra keeps jumping at me. Chad Little, Glenn Cotson, very seldom they're not amongst the winners, and I don't think we can look past this one this time round. I think we can ignore that last start. That was a bit of an indifferent run, but it was also reported that this horse was not striding out, and I do see that they've removed the blinkers as well after that particular run. Now, the other thing that I thought was a bad habit of Cassandra's is the fact that she does have the tendency of being slow away. If she does jump on terms and she does find herself in a good position, particularly on Wednesday when she jumps from pole position, she will have the choice of where she wants to sit. I do think she will give us a good run for our money now that she is back in maiden company. So I'm going 1 Cassandra, ahead of 3 D-Day, 8 in Quenzi, and 10 Miss Twinkle. Fifth race is the first leg of the second jackpot. You need to be on at 1 o'clock. Here we have a field of 6 runners who will face the starter, and 4 of the 6 in this race are renewing rivalry. If we look at that run behind Russian Doll, you'll see Convocation, Russian Doll, Miss Lady Atrix, and also 6 Captain Christie. They all renew rivalry in this, the 5th race on the card. And I am going to be siding with number 2, Convocation, who's a kilo bit off of the weights for a 1.5 leg beating. That should bring them closer together. The difference being, though, that the jockey-trainer combination of Simonga Kamalo and Gareth and Sale have been in such devastating form that you can hardly look past them. Now, this horse, I do think, will give us a very good account of himself or herself on Wednesday afternoon. She will show toe from the get-go, and if she kicks away and play come and catch me if you can tactics, I think she'll be very hard to peg back in the run to the wire. So I'm going 2 Convocation, ahead of number 1 Lucrative, 3 Russian Doll, and 6 Captain Christie as the selections in race number 5. We move on to race 6, and here they're betting 4-1 the field. It doesn't get easier as we get to the back end of the card. Number 6, Captain Efficient, 3 Prize Platinum. They're both priced up at 4-1, 4.55-1 number 1, The Mask. You can get 5-1 number 11, Indecent Proposal, and 6.25-1 and upwards the others. Where do we go in race number 6? I'm in fact going with one of the joint favourites. I'm siding with number 3, Prize Platinum. This one from the visiting stable of Clinton Binder. Callan Murray, he's got quite a few good rides on the afternoon and may be the jockey that we can follow on the afternoon. Now this horse, last time out, was also squeezed when they jumped out, but was running on very nicely, finishing second, beaten a length by Ensuing, and Ensuing has subsequently come out and won again since then. That to me was a very, very good last run, and if he jumps on terms and he sits in a very good position, I think he will be doing his best work late in the closing stages. So I'm going 3 Prize Platinum to win it, ahead of 1 The Mask, 6 Captain Efficient, and 11 Indecent Proposal. That takes us on to race 7. It's the penultimate race on the card, and here we have 2 very important scratchings. In race 7, you can scratch both number 1 Ziasha and number 7 Luamba Pambile. So we're down to just 6 runners who will contest race 7 on the program, and there's not much to choose between number 8 Don Carrari at 1.52 and number 2 Lion Rampart at 1.67 in the betting. Then number 6 Hit the Mad Sunshine is at 5-1, and you can get 11-2 about number 3 Mover and Shaker. With the scratchings and the 2 important scratchings of Ziasha and Lapamba Mbili, I'm definitely going to go with Don Carrari as my first choice selection. This horse ran in feature race company last time out in the Umgeni. That was over 1,000 meters and got beaten by Future Variety under 3.5 lengths at the line. Now, if you look at this horse's course and distance record, for 13 runs, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and 4 thirds, so this horse certainly enjoys this track and trip. Also gets the services of a 2.5 kilo claiming JC Buertas, already comes in with a postage stamp weight. So I do think, being ideally course and distance suited, with the scratchings, this horse has got everything in its favour to actually win the 7th race on the cards. I'm going 8 Don Carrari to win it, ahead of 2 Lion Rampart. For 3rd, I'm going with 6 Hit the Mad Sunshine, and 4th, number 5 First Origin. Last race of the day jumps at 16:45. It's Hollywoodbets Bright Future, Class 4, Benchmark 80, to be run over 1,750 metres. Now, here number 1, Got to Go Eddie, is a 3.33 to 1 as the antipose favourite on Hollywoodbets.net. Mike DeCock and Matthew DeCock, they team up here with 1 Got to Go Eddie. This was one that's made in last time out over 1,600 metres, but I do think has got more to do in this race. But I do think my good friend Mr. Howells has got a very strong hand, and let me give you the comments of both these runners here. He says about number 3, Alravian, racing consistently and can give a good account from a great draw. Number 8, French Trip, racing consistently and can give a good account. Now, having sort of read between the lines as far as those comments are concerned, I'm going to be siding with number 3, Alravian to win it, ahead of number 5, French Trip. 11, Barsirakfat, can't leave my old friend out. And 4th, I'm going to go with 1, Got to Go Eddie. And that takes care of our preview for racing at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on Wednesday afternoon. Trust you'll enjoy local racing action. You'll find the winners. Till next time from me, Rouvaun. Cheers for now.